So they have been hyping this thing up quite a bit, made a huge deal out of it. They've been doing an article every single week or multiple a week, trying to get people pumped up for this big purchase, this big new launch game. But they haven't really been talking about when it actually comes out. So I had to dig into this article from way back in January and scroll all the way down to the bottom and look through all of this to find this one line right here that has the answer everyone was looking for. We will have lots of coverage of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis, as we get closer to launch in August. So that's it. We know for sure that this game is late. It was supposed to be launched in August, and now September is about to be over. So it's already 2 months late. It was supposed to be a Q3 2023 release, and now it's looking more like Q4. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the news, the rumors, and the facts behind Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis. And we don't need to speculate, because I've got the receipts straight from Games Workshop HQ. But I mean, we'll probably still speculate some. But before we do, this video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so there has been a lot of talk, a lot of rumors, questions, all kinds of stuff going unanswered for the Warhammer Horus Heresy Legion Imperialis game. And while I do understand the appeal and it's cool and everything, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm more into like the actual models and everything. I enjoy painting them just as much as I enjoy pushing around game pieces. So I do understand the large scale battles or small scale miniatures and why people like them. It's just not that appealing to me personally. And if I was going to get into Legion Imperialis or an epic scale Warhammer game, I would much rather get into Warhammer 40,000 epic than the Horus Heresy Legion Imperialis. Now obviously that's not an option because epic is no longer a game produced by Games Workshop. But it seems like it would have made a lot more sense for them to do a Warhammer 40k version at an epic scale rather than 30k, because obviously 40k is substantially more popular, sells way more miniatures, and is just all around cooler because of the additional factions and everything. And if you're not aware of the difference, Warhammer 30,000 Horus Heresy took place in the year 30,000, as where Warhammer 40k takes place in the year 40,000 roughly. And the main difference is the Warhammer 30,000 universe and storyline plays out centered around the battle between the Space Marine chapters, the Horus Heresy and Great Betrayal of the Emperor. As where Warhammer 40,000 is 10,000 years in the future, in the aftermath, and now there's a bunch more Xenos factions, a lot more going on in the universe, and just overall more exciting in my opinion. So I think there's a lot of limitations with Horus Heresy in general. And most of that transfers over pretty much one for one into Legion Imperialis. But most of you guys, if you're here right now, probably know all that stuff. So that's enough of the background on it. So after decades of Epic no longer being produced by Games Workshop, they've decided to bring it back in this 30k form. And they're calling it Legion Imperialis. And there's been a lot of questions and a lot of rumors surrounding the game. So I thought we would go ahead and knock out some of those questions and then most importantly, dispel the rumors, get to the bottom of this. Because the truth is we don't have to wonder anymore. I've got the receipts straight from Games Workshop HQ. So when I was doing my little deep dive here, I was taking a look at some of the articles, reach out to Games Workshop, of course, no response. But it didn't take too much elbow grease to get to the bottom of this whole situation. So I started with this 10 things you need to know about Warhammer the Horus Heresy Legion Imperialis, with hopes that that might answer some of the questions that I had. Because I thought, okay, top 10 things, probably going to answer a lot of those questions. An Age of Darkness, epic scale, General's Eye View, non-stop action. None of these particularly answering my questions. Unrelenting war, conquer the battlefield, combined arms, weapons for every situation. So I get it. I get why they're doing this. Flexible army building, choose your battlefield. It's basically like a marketing campaign for the game before it comes out. But here at the bottom, I found there's a dedicated web page. And if we click on that, that's going to take us over to where we can find the actual information we want. You know, important stuff like release dates. And so when we click on that, it takes us over here to Warhammer the Horus Heresy page. And this actually has like a couple of prompts. So you can take a look at the regular Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy stuff. Or, of course, we're going to look at the Legion Imperialis stuff as well. So here's a little video, talks about the game, We have some Legion prompts and everything right here, so you can dig in deep. What's in the box? We see the actual box here, a little breakdown of all the stuff that is included. So very cool. And then, of course, that's the bottom of the page. And find out more, once again, we feel like we haven't gotten the answers we're looking for. So when we click on that Find Out More tab, it takes us over to an article on Warhammer Community from the 1st of July, 2023. So a few months ago, Warhammer Preview, the battle on an epic scale in Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Legions Imperialis. So very cool. And if we look through this, again, we're going to see a lot of the same stuff, picture of the box, that same little video, breakdown of all the components. And then we see the individual like factions and models and everything. So just like a ton of stuff from Games Workshop. This was like their big launch thing. And this was the not Warhammer 40,000 preview show where they basically showed off a bunch of stuff that's not Warhammer 40,000. And if we just keep scrolling through all this stuff, there's tons of cool information here. So they have been hyping this thing up quite a bit, made a huge deal out of it. They've been doing an article every single week or multiple a week, trying to get people pumped up for this big purchase, this big new launch game. But they haven't really been talking about when it actually comes out. So I had to dig into this article from way back in January and scroll all the way down to the bottom and look through all of this to find this one line right here that has the answer everyone was looking for. We will have lots of coverage of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis, as we get closer to launch in August. So that's it. We know for sure that this game is late. It was supposed to be launched in August, and now September is about to be over. So it's already 2 months late. It was supposed to be a Q3 2023 release, and now it's looking more like Q4. But then I thought about it a little bit more. Games Workshop is pretty tricky. You could even argue that they are a little on the slimy side. So I thought to myself, maybe the Legion Imperialis Horus Heresy box isn't late by 2 months. Maybe they meant August 2024. So that's it. They didn't say what year the Horus Heresy Legion Imperialis box was coming out. So we just presumed that it was coming out in August of 2023 when they started hyping it up in July of 2023. But the truth is, they never said 2023. So that's actually on us. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. But in all seriousness though, obviously something is going on behind the scenes. Because this article is from the 1st of July 2023, which means they put this out about a month before the expected launch date. So if you're a month out from your expected launch, it's not like you're getting ready to like ramp up to start like manufacturing these products or anything. I mean, the majority of the work is done. You've already created everything. You've already sent everything off that needs to be sent off. You've already been large scale manufacturing all of the actual miniatures, getting your plastic injection on. There's very little left to do or that you can even do 1 month out from launch. You really can't change anything as far as the actual product or anything like that. It's really just about like logistics and delivery at that point. So the fact that this article came out on the 1st of July, 2023, the game was supposed to launch in August, presumably 2023. And now here we are, September's about to end. We're about to be in October of 2023. Something went wrong behind the scenes at Games Workshop. And I don't mean just a little bit. To have a multi-month delay on a product that you were pumping up, getting everybody excited for, advertising, marketing, less than a month before the release date, and for it to be then delayed 2 months after that, and that would be just assuming it came out like next week. I mean, we don't even know. It might not even come out in October at this point in time. And then we start getting close to Christmas. I mean, we know Games Workshop behind the scenes is already ramping up for the Christmas boxes. Last year, they had something like 15 or 16 Christmas boxes, and then a few more Space Marine boxes early into the beginning of the year. So they're planning on doing another, 15 or 20 big box sets? Not to mention new stuff for Kill Team, Warcry. We've got the new edition of Age of Sigmar, less than a year out at this point. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic here and call Games Workshop a dumpster fire with a thin veil of success. But I mean, let's be honest here. Whatever's going on at Games Workshop behind the scenes is an absolute disaster. And this isn't some little mom and pop store. I'm not trying to bust Games Workshop shops here because something's going wrong. It definitely happens in business. But I mean, if this was, say, like the new iPhone, and they had been pitching it and pumping it and marketing it to sell in August, back in July, and now here we are finishing out September, getting ready to go into October, we would have at least heard some kind of like public announcement from them. They would have reached out and let people know in the community what the delays were or when the new launch date was. They would have at least made up some kind of alibi as to why there's delays. But no, not Games Workshop. Absolute silence from them. At least when it comes to the stuff we actually care about. Because here are the recent Warhammer community articles. And we see, literally from today, Heresy Thursday. Get into the thick of it with tiny drop pods for Legion Imperialis. So it's not like they're just not talking about Legion Imperialis and they're just not saying anything about it. They're just not talking about the actual issues that people care about. Like, when is this game actually going to launch? Now, again, for me, this isn't really that big a deal because I'm not going to buy anything from Legion Imperialis. But whenever I make one of these videos about things selling out or Games Workshop being at 100% production capacity and having issues keeping up with demand, I always get the same argument. And it's the same argument that I've been hearing for like 20 plus years in the hobby. That Games Workshop is a luxury good and that they intentionally create artificial scarcity to sell their products. And I totally get that. It makes perfect sense if you're making Ferraris or Lamborghinis or something like that. But these aren't custom made miniatures with limited quantities. These are mass produced plastic injection kits. So I'm not going to argue whether they're overpriced or how much they should cost or anything like that. We all know that Games Workshop stuff is overpriced, but it's also awesome. But the idea that Games Workshop, a billion-dollar company, is intentionally manufacturing less products than the community wants to create FOMO and sell extra stuff is absolutely ridiculous. And in my opinion, these delays right here are just further proof that there are issues going on behind the scenes that we just don't realize. And I'm sure the employees at Games Workshop, the people that are working in those factories, those fat cat hamsters upstairs in charge of everything, I am 100% sure that they are going out of their way to make sure that nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes. So I don't have the answers as to what the issues are. I can't tell you exactly when Horus Heresy Legion Imperialis is going to get released, but I can tell you right now, it was supposed to come out in August. September's about to end, and then we're into October. So we're talking about basically 3 months or a 1/4 delay on a new big box game that they were advertising not 1 month before the release date. So is Games Workshop going to let us know what's going on with this? Are they going to give us a better idea as to the roadmap or when this game is going to come out? Probably not. I'm sure we're just going to hear more silence from them. But at this point in time, all these rumors about Games Workshop and artificial scarcity, creating FOMO and all this stuff, it's not artificial. Warhammer is extremely popular, more popular than they have ever been in the past. And sure, there is definitely some scarcity, but it's not artificial. Games Workshop has some serious bottlenecks in production, and behind the scenes, I guarantee you, this company is a dumpster fire, just waiting to happen. So let me know what you think down below. Always like to hear your guys' opinions. Maybe you've heard some other rumors or possibly some other release dates that I don't know about. Always appreciate you guys sounding off. As always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15% on Games Workshop products. Link in the description. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. And at this point in time, it's not even a rumor. Legion Imperialis was supposed to be out months ago. So we can all speculate about what's going on behind the scenes, but it's not even rumors at this point in time. It's facts. Games Workshop is having some serious issues. They've been going on for months, arguably years at this point in time. And if they don't course correct, I fully expect these issues to get worse. And I'm out of here.